Hey nerds, it's me, Meg, lady of the show, just here all by myself because I got sick of listening to the two bozos arguing everything that we cover tonight, like Secret Invasion, Dune, Narnia, Tron, like literally everything. And all I wanted to talk about was Barbie.
Why?
Well, finger guns.
Welcome to the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm Darren Stemple.
I'm Morgan Santo.
And I'm Meg Bradbury.
Thank you for tuning in. If you're here on YouTube and it's your first time, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our shows that can get released randomly throughout the week. You can also find us anywhere you consume your podcasts. You can find us on our social media like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all at the Nerd Rundown. This week, we celebrated our Independence Day, so let's take this time to shout out our sponsor, Combat the Chaos. Hey, nerds. You know we love to support our veterans and our first responders here at the Nerd Rundown. That's why we've partnered with Combat the Chaos, a veteran-owned clothing company that donates portions of their profits to organizations that are focused on mental health and suicide prevention, specifically for these brave heroes. Being a veteran myself, and one who's needed help in these areas before, it was important we found a partner we believed in. Veterans are at a 57% higher risk of suicide than those who have not served. When it comes to first responders like the police, firefighters, and EMTs, they have a 10% higher chance than the general population of developing mental health issues like depression and PTSD. If you want to show your support, then visit combatthechaos.com, use our code NRD for 15% off, and select from a variety of amazing hats, shirts, sweaters, and more. We thank you for your help in fighting this battle that first responders and veterans so desperately need. Now, back to the show.
That's what this is all about, is it? You're gonna take our people to the edge of extinction with a war with the humans.
All these miscreants know is murder. Look how they treat each other. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna murder them all.
You don't understand the first thing about humans. They're at their most formidable when they're threatened.
All right, welcome back to the Nerd Rundown here on the Roundtable. We're going to talk a little Secret Invasion. So I know you guys just recently got caught up on it, and maybe not all the way. Meg, you didn't get caught up all the way. You got first two episodes
Missing it by one episode, yeah.
Yeah.
First two.
Morg?
I'm all caught up.
All caught up, 100%.
All caught up, 100%.
If it was only that easy with Andor.
Soon.
I'll start with you, Meg, since you're not totally caught up. I want to get your thoughts on what you think of Marvel's big show out right now.
So it was I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I've heard you guys here talking about, the Skrulls and Nick Fury and all of that, and I'm not caught up on all of the MCU either. I've seen a select few pieces and parts and stuff throughout, the whole universe, but I haven't seen all of the movies and shows like you guys have. So I had no idea what to expect going into it. So it was way more sci-fi than I was prepared for, but it wasn't, it was good. I enjoyed the first two episodes so far. I definitely want to see what's going to happen in the third and beyond. But yeah, it was a little more sci-fi than what I was prepared for.
Okay.
But it's so far, it's very well done. My one complaint, and I complained to you guys about this, is how dark it was on my phone. And I know that's on me. Like, get off the phone.
It's the phone.
But I can get so much more done when I can carry the show with me around the house and, get things done. So that's just how I consume it. But yeah, other than that, like the look of it overall, I think is really cool. The storyline is cool. I want to see what's going on. I'm invested at this point.
Okay. Morg, what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah. So, you know how you guys keep giving me crap that I hate everything?
No.
Well,
add
this one to the list. I'm not a fan guy.
Jeez, Morgan.
I know you guys hate me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Somebody broke you.
I don't know what happened. I died. When the blip happened, a part of me didn't come back. I don't know what it is. No, I just have a lot of gripes with it.
Alternate Morg? Or
Maybe he's a Skrull.
Yeah, maybe
is that what it is? Am I a Skrull? Yeah, I just have a lot of gripes. There's just some things about it that I'm not happy about. There's some cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna finish it out. Like, there was some neat things that happened in it that I appreciate. But I don't know, I just don't like the way Fury is in this. I just have a lot of questions about Skrull stuff. There's some weird editing things I noticed in the first episode that took me out. I was like, oh god, what is this? This doesn't make me feel. I could see why it's like the second lowest rated Disney MCU show right now.
That was for the premiere. The viewership is going up each week.
I can see why it's not doing too well.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't marketed that well, and a lot of people
it definitely
were
wasn't.
very confused at what's going on in the beginning, and I understand that because it's been multiverse.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot it came out.
Yeah, and honestly, again, I said this last week, it could be a whole phase. Secret Invasion could be a whole phase. This was a monster storyline in the comics, and around 2007, 2008, maybe 2009 time frame. I'm usually better with dates, but either way, the pre-Skrull War is one of the oldest and best storylines in Marvel Comics, and that led to Secret Invasion. Kree kind of wipe out the Skrulls, and then the Skrulls, they try to find a new home, and they actually it's more religious for them in the comics. Like they feel it destined to find a new home, and that leads them to do things as people have done throughout history for religion. Anyway, so what's different about this is obviously the MCU is not going to be a one-for-one, comic to screen adaptation, but I think what they've changed so far has been really good. So if you remember, if you've seen Captain Marvel, that's where they debuted in the MCU. Talos was their general searching for a new home, and Captain Marvel and Nick Fury, or should I say Nicholas Fury?
Don't say Nick.
Yeah, don't say Nick, right? Maybe I'm the Skrull.
Dun, dun, dun.
They helped the Skrulls find a new world, or they promised that they're going to help them find a new world. And now that was 1995 in the MCU. Now it's I think it's later than 2023.
Was it 2025?
Yeah,
I think now.
I think it's 2025 in the MCU. So 30 years later, they still don't have a home. Some of them now are very pissed off about that.
Yeah. That's so dumb.
And you have like a superiority complex, which the Skrulls do. They're stronger. They're immune to radiation. They can shapeshift. They're definitely, biologically at least, superior to humans. Either way, this guy Gravik, who I am enjoying. Eric and I talk about it all the time on the show. A good bad guy makes for a good guy in a good movie, right? If you have a good bad guy, like a bad guy you like to watch, or you love to hate, I guess maybe is a better way of putting it, you're off on the right foot for sure. Gravik, I think, is that kind of guy. He's got this like slow draw on his English accent, which makes him sound a little bit.
I see you, all dressed up in the man's finery, drinking the man's wine, playing the man's game, using the man's fork and knife.
Better to behave as a human than as a dog.
I quite like dogs. In fact, I prefer them.
Scarier for me, at least. I know Morgan's over there shaking his head. So let's ask Morgan. Why don't you like Gravik as the?
I don't. He just feels really flat to me every time I see him. Like I think that's my problem. Like I want to like him because he looks cool.
No, I'm cool. No, you're not.
When you see him walking around, like he looks like, all right, this guy looks like a badass. Like but then every time I see him, like his emotion is just always kind of like that weird flat. Like I don't know. Maybe as it progresses, we'll see. He still has time, but to me, it just seemed like very flat, like a dull performance to me. And I think that was my issue with him.
Is that something you agree with me?
I mean, I don't disagree, but in my view, it's almost more sociopathic in the flatness of it, where that there's some sort of like crazy explosive stuff that's going to happen behind him eventually.
Yeah.
So where he's very controlled and very confident, and he knows he's got a plan and it's going to work, no matter who he hurts in the process, kind of thing. And so it's kind of creepy in a way. The flatness.
I trust your opinion on people's speech dialect, so I'll take
Yeah,
it.
that's true. That's fair.
For sure, he does seem psychopathic, though, in his pursuit, for his people. It's like I said, it's more of a religious belief, more of a destiny belief for them. And the Skrulls are actually in the comics. They're the bad guys in the comics.
Oh yeah,
as they are here, obviously. The Skrulls are very, very like militaristic people. They want to wage war.
I think the problem is
remember what the old lady said? Gosh, was it the second episode?
We did not end up homeless refugees because we were unwilling to wage war. We ended up homeless refugees because we were too willing.
Don't be mad Nick Fury can't find you a planet because you guys are a bunch of dicks and nobody likes you anymore. Like, that's on you, How about let's learn from our mistakes and not nuke the planet we're on because we're immune to radiation.
I mean, I get it, but I think that's what's making it interesting at minimum for me.
See, for me, it just seems like a bad reason to nuke a planet because of a promise that hasn't been fulfilled yet.
They need a new home, and they don't want to
live
there.
By,
they don't want to live by. They don't want to live by man's rule. They think they're superior.
Also,
and they are.
Also, how come once we agreed to let Skrulls live among us, nobody thought, hey, we should figure out a way to make sure we can tell the difference between a human and a Skrull? Never once. Like, this guy could be the president tomorrow if he wants to be. And nobody was like, maybe we should
regulate this a little.
How do we keep track?
Honestly, there's some holes. I'm not saying this is a perfect show. It's not. This is an Andor.
Love.
This is a better entry from the MCU so far, on the Disney Plus side, I should say. Really interesting bad guy, in my own opinion, obviously. It's a threat. Yeah. Like, I think you feel the threat, and you'll really feel the threat after the third episode, Meg.
I think, Morg, you think too much.
Boom. Roasted.
Sometimes, and I'm guilty of that myself. So
I expect quality. I think that's my issue.
But I think sometimes you enjoy poking holes in plots and things. And I mean, sometimes if I think a little too much about a movie, I'm like, really, that was just dumb. Like, this doesn't, just don't.
I mean, you're watching a show about shapeshifters.
Boom. Roasted.
Exactly. Like, you can't make it make sense because it doesn't. It's not real. That's like the whole fun of it.
But see, that's my thing, though. That's why I expect it to be better. Like, I expect a better spy story, especially when you have a whole species that can literally be anyone. Like, I don't know. I just expect it to be crafted. Like, so far, I haven't really gotten like a cool like spy versus spy element yet out of this. It's been pretty straightforward. In fact, all the interrogation and everything has been done in 3 seconds. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I put this in his blood. He'll talk in about 5 seconds when he talks. There's been no real like mind games. Like, Nick is kind of interrogating his buddy there, and like, okay, he's trying to figure out how many Skrull are here and what they're gonna do, and then he goes, "How many are you here? Why are you here?" And he's just like, "There's 1 million of us." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well that was quick."
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
It wasn't that easy. I mean,
all he did was like, what's going on here?
Broke him down with a personal, emotional story.
KFC story.
And
that made me hungry. I was like, damn, now I want KFC.
I honestly, when he was like fried chicken, I was like, I've been on a fried
chicken.
I
know. I was like, that sounds so good right now.
I could smell that scene.
He was like fried chicken, mashed potatoes. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting hungry, bro.
That's where you're probably thinking too hard, because they give you the answers right there. If you have questions on what they're saying, just think a little less, I guess.
Say hello to the new champ of Chandler's Dumb States Game.
Wow, how many you got?
56. Boss, you need some help?
From you? Yes, please.
First of all, Utah? Dude, you can't just make stuff up.
Maybe, right?
Got it. Shut off, brain, for...
Listen.
Excuse me, for Marvel now.
Captain Densel, he commented on the episode last week. He said, here he is. He said, I do not hate Secret Invasion, which Morgan said he hated it, so we wanted to make that correction. I wish they would have put together a Star Wars type scroll at the beginning to bring me up to date on where we were starting, which I think that's
I think that's fair.
That would have been
There should be a little
helpful to me.
recap.
I thought the way they did the beginning of the second episode was interesting, where it didn't say previously on, or it just kind of, it was almost
It
like
just gave like a date,
yeah,
right? Didn't it just like
It was
kind of give a
very-
date
yeah.
and that was it?
It
Or...
was a recap of Fury in Captain Marvel and all the other places. It was like a recap that they should have gotten almost in the first episode, but it was weird. The way they did it. Go back and watch it. It doesn't say previously on. It just kind of starts with these cut scenes.
It just started, and I had to I rewound it because I'm like, did I miss something? Like,
Yeah, you're like,
missing a
what did I
date or
miss?
something? Like, how did? Yeah, I was very confused for a second there.
Yeah. So that I agree. They should have had a better recap in the beginning, because again, it's just been multiverse, and now it's all of a sudden secret invasion, and you can tell that there's going to be some long-term ramifications from this show, especially after this week. So then Captain Dunsel says, what I truly need is for Darren or somebody else on the Nerd Rundown, I'll put it in there, to be my Marvel support person and explain to me what is going on. I am so confused. It's like seeing polar bears on an island in the Pacific, which, Morgan, you don't understand that.
Morgan doesn't get that reference.
I get that reference.
I understood that reference.
Actually, I did. Does it have something to do with the same island that has a cloud monster?
So,
Love monster, but yeah. Anyway,
She's right, you know.
Well, yeah, because like another big question I had is these bombs go off, right? They're not dirty bombs, thankfully.
okay,
They're just
you're talking
regular
at the end
bombs.
of episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bombs, boom, 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 right? They're not dirty bombs, thankfully. They're just regular bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Fury was about 5 feet from one. He was cool. Then we find out 2,000 people died during
his
this.
embellishment right now.
2,000 people died in this, and there weren't even like 2,000 people there. But anyway,
Did you count?
why?
Because that's what it feels like you should have.
I probably could have. That's how little. That's how little there was. I probably could have. But my main question is like they did this because it's like, haha, Russia's going to think America did it. Blah blah.
Yeah.
We're going to start a war.
Yeah.
How come nobody was like?
To incite.
How come nobody was like, hey guys, no, it was actually the Skrulls. We all know they're here and they exist. Russia acknowledges they're here. America knows they're here. Let's not start World War III. It's actually these aliens. We're going to figure it out. Don't worry.
Well, Maria Hill and Nick Fury, who operate in deep cover, but also they got set up to be the culprits of the bomb. If they came out and said it's the Skrulls, they're going to be like, no, you're just saying that because you're the guilty party here. Right?
Let's
So
say,
they
okay.
get set up as so that takes away their ability to say it's Skrulls. If you noticed, there's a lot of high-ranking people that are Skrulls right now.
I think Nick Fury still has enough gravitas behind his name to call somebody in government and say, hey, we didn't do this. He was talking to that Russian British woman.
I can't even tell you, like, he tried, and then he found out something. This is just a big spoiler from the end of episode 3 from episode 2.
my
Somebody's a
assumption
Skrull.
is, I was going to say, it has something to do with people are Skrulls, and you don't know that they're Skrulls until.
There's a.
So he tried saying something to the government.
Is there a big hit in episode 2 that lets you know?
Yes.
Or is it
Yeah,
episode
something
3
we've
where
already-
he
we've already
establishes what the
referenced.
hint is?
We
Yeah.
referenced it earlier,
Yeah.
so he knows. Okay, and now everybody who's watched episode 3.
I did like that though. I did appreciate that because I remember when he said that I was like, "Oh shit, dude, what's it?" And then I won't say any further.
Yeah.
And then of course I was
Yeah.
like,
So we don't know how long these people have been Skrulls for. You know,
yeah, because we have no way to test it because.
I mean, the
Nobody
one
thought
that
of
we
it.
found out at the end of 3, that could have.
Oh wait, so do Skrulls get your powers too?
No, so that's why the episode 3 is important to watch because it tells you what they're building down in that bunker and what
Right.
that machine does.
But in episode 2, I was confused because when Rhodes was like, "Why don't you bring in the Avengers?" He's like, "No, I can't because we can't let them become them." And like I could have swore he said he'll get their power.
No, he didn't say that. He said,
Maybe we should call our friends.
We get them in a fight with the Skrulls, and next thing you know, they find themselves duplicated and turned into terrorists.
I think it was more like the image of them becomes tarnished. That's how I took it. Like that they get
Okay,
duplicated.
see, I thought
and
you meant like they
people
could
think
take
that-
their powers because it was like, damn, they should just be the most powerful beings in the universe
not
now.
mutually exclusive there, but they work together. Both of our points. Mega nice. Okay. So there's some gravitas to the show. The way they're putting some of the big names that have been in multiple properties. There's also a really, really great performance from Olivia Colman.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Who plays Sonia Falsworth. She is the granddaughter of, his name is Falsworth. He's in the Howling Commandos in Captain America, the First Avenger.
James Montgomery Falsworth.
James Montgomery Falsworth, yeah. He's the guy who's like, mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
Before they get on the train.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's got a mustache. He's the first Union Jack, is what I was trying to think of.
First Union Jack.
That's a cool little callback. Really good performance from Olivia Colman, who you might know as Milla from Broadchurch.
Yes, Mella. Mella.
So, do you mind not calling me Miller?
Why?
No, I don't really like the surname thing. I prefer Ellie.
Ellie. No. Mella. Mella.
And The Crown. She was the queen in The Crown. She's been really great. She's got a lot of charisma in this show. She was very bit parts so far in these first few episodes, but every time she's on screen, you want to watch what she's doing. We're talking Secret Invasion right now because there's not a lot of nerd content out there right now. You know, the movies are Dial of Destiny is just what a freaking flop that is. Flash.
It was a strange feeling it was going to be.
The Flash. The Flash just hit 100 million at the box office 3 weeks into its run.
Jeez. That's a flop. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's a lot of disappointment at the box office right now. There's not a lot of other new stuff on TV right now. Jack Ryan did premiere last week. I can't wait to dive into that later this week. Silo finished last week. This is the big show right now at the moment, and it's in our realm. It's, Secret Invasion, MCU, Marvel. That's what we do here at the Nerd Rundown, is we talk about this stuff, and whether it's good or bad, I like it so far, but I do like being back in the spy world of the MCU. Like, it all feels there's some connective tissues with like the big numbers that tell you what year it is. It's just there's some things that call back to the spy verse within Marvel. Pretty cool stuff. All right, well, let's go talk some more superhero stuff on the rundown.
Do it.
Let's start with your vital statistics. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I don't, but if I did, Miss Lane, you'd be the first to know about it.
Okay, welcome back to the Nerd Rundown. First on the rundown, as you just saw, Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder, their chemistry, some of the best Lois and Clark chemistry that we've seen on screen together. Now we have a new set of Lois and Clark. We briefly mentioned it last week on the show. David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. Rachel Brosnahan, the bigger name here. You would know her from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and House of Cards, maybe. David Cornsweet, you would know from the news cycle over the past week, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Meg, I'm going to start with you, lady of the show, right? Ladies first, what do you think of our new Superman and Lois Lane?
So we had, I think, mentioned him a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I kind of lose track of time.
There was
and
like
how
an early rumor about him.
How eerily similar he looked to Henry Cavill, which I know that, James Gunn says that, the similarity doesn't really matter, but it's still uncanny. How similar he looks to Henry Cavill. It's
unsettling at times.
It is a little bit. But I mean, I still haven't seen the Superman movies.
Come again?
I don't think any of them.
Maybe don't.
You haven't seen
Don't
Man
at
of
this
Steel?
point.
No,
I'm going to tell you not to. I'm going to tell you not to.
Man of
Don't.
Steel? Well, listen,
no,
Mr. Cynical over here. Okay.
No, I like Man of Steel, but I mean, if we got a new Superman, start fresh.
Yeah, maybe I'll just
don't
start
get
fresh.
tarnished by the greatness of Henry.
Yeah, and it's. I feel like
Christopher Reeve. Come on now.
Yeah, no, I've seen
Oh, you
clips.
watch
I've never actually
Christopher
seen the
Reeves,
full
yeah,
movie,
it's
but
fine.
I've seen clips. I know that he is the original Superman.
Yeah,
I know
he's
that
the
much.
OG.
Yeah, but
Maybe
but,
not that OG, but
Not the OG, but the
most well-known.
yeah,
yeah. But
movie OG.
maybe I will just start fresh with this set of people, and we'll kind of go from there.
Does Rachel Brosnahan ring a bell for you?
I didn't know her name, but I've heard. I haven't seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I know it's supposed to be really, really good show.
Yeah.
It's on my list. It's just kind of been bumped down with a lot of other things that have popped up. But she seems very talented and very capable. So it'll be interesting to see.
I've heard it's comparable to only murders in the building. So I know you're just finish
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, then let me bump it back up a
Well,
little bit.
in humor, I don't know.
And like humor, like
Okay.
quality.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, Morg. Now it's official. We have him.
Yeah.
We know.
I mean, this is the guy I picked that I just solely based on looks. Do you think that? Do you think that when like Henry got a text from his buddy that was like, they picked a new Superman, check him out, he loaded it up and he was like, motherfucker, that's me. Like, do you think he was just pissed like they just de-aged him? That's what I like. I mean, he looks good. He looks good. He looks like he could be a Superman. Bulk him up a little bit and he'll be the Henry Light.
I know it is very unsettling. In fact, there's a clip in Man of Steel where it's never really been confirmed, but when Superman is going up trying to destroy the world engine,
fire
in like the South
Independence Day style.
Yeah, and he, I'm back.
I'm back.
His face may flash into Christopher Reeve, and it's never been confirmed. But man, it's one of those things. Once you see it, you're like, oh, I can't unsee that. Well, I'm very excited for a new Superman story. We've been robbed of Superman lately, or at least good Superman. I loved Man of Steel. The Justice League stuff is, and even BVS, Batman vs Superman.
Snyder Cut is definitely better.
It's better for sure, but that's like comparing apples and oranges almost.
I personally didn't hate Batman v Superman.
It explains so much.
I didn't personally hate it. I wish we had a deeper connection to Superman.
You're going to sit there and you're going to complain about some stuff in Secret Invasion and then watch BVS and be like, yeah, that was a great movie.
That's because the writing of BVS is better than
Martha. Come on here and be like, yeah, I'm on
Secret Invasion. That I admit is trash. All right, I'm just watching at this point. I just want to see how they end it. All right, I just gotta say, I gotta finish it.
I want more Superman. That's all. I'm cool. I love Henry Cavill as Clark, as Superman. He was an incredible Superman, but maybe this frees him up for something else. All right, next on the rundown, we have news out of the Dune world. I don't know what to call it. I just, for whatever reason, had never gotten a chance to see Dune, and I've been excited to see it. And I finally watched it this past weekend. Ooh. Not worth the wait for me. Or I mean, that was a letdown of a movie. I fell asleep 3 times in the movie, and I don't fall asleep in movies.
Wow.
I will say the new Dune official trailer was released over this past week, and it gives me hope it can be redeemed, because holy moly, what a trailer, Morg. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, first I gotta say I love the first Dune movie. Now I'll admit I watched it in IMAX, so my experience
maybe that's what it is.
Was definitely probably a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, the big screen, the loud noises, but I did really enjoy it, especially knowing going into it, it's setting up more. I'm okay with it. Like, I knew more was coming, and I knew it would get more action packed, and then we got this trailer, and it's definitely going to be some more action. I hope more action packed. I'd like to see more action in this, definitely.
Yeah.
But seeing him ride a Beetlejuice sandworm. Is going to be badass. All right, so I got a question. Zendaya.
Yeah.
Did her eyes like go back to brown at some point in this trailer? I thought like they're permanently blue because they breathe in the sand.
I think this is maybe why I was like not able to get into Dune 1, is because I felt like the movie was made for book readers. All the character, there was no character development. You know, I know it's like a part 1, obviously, but
no, I see what you mean.
It didn't give you any backstory on anything, really.
Yeah, and like he didn't really have a character change in the movie.
Why does
the main guy?
Yeah, why does he have these dreams? Why does he have this connection? I mean, it was like I was like,
because he's like part witch.
I guess that's a good point,
like
but still, that didn't even really explain like why he's like, I should have married you, and she's like, yeah, you should have, dummy. But I was not impressed with Dune 1. I just couldn't get into it because I couldn't follow what was going on. Maybe not watch it at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know, but I feel like I never fall asleep in movies. So
I was happy to see what's his name is alive in the trailer.
Yes, Thanos. Let's just say that.
Thanos, yeah.
Because everybody else in Dune 1, spoiler alert, whoa, they really cleaned the board. Meg, you haven't seen Dune, but did you watch this trailer and did it like get you any hype at all?
I mean, yeah, seeing the trailer made me think, okay, maybe I really should go back and watch Dune 1. Now, after this discussion, I'm a little questionable on whether I want to bump it up my list or not. Definitely not going to
she
start
likes
it.
my opinion more than yours, Morg.
Don't watch it. That means don't watch it on your phone, though. That's for sure.
Don't
You'll
watch it on
hate
my phone, and don't start it, after like 7 p.m. because I definitely will fall asleep. It doesn't matter how good it is. But yeah, maybe I'll watch it tomorrow morning. I'm going to need like some downtime tomorrow, so maybe I can do that and get caught up on it, because the trailer definitely, I mean, it looks amazing, and I watched it on my phone. I kind of want to watch it in my car and hear, with the good surround sound.
That actually is not a bad idea.
Like, lamely, the only word I can come up with is big. It just seemed like a big movie that needs to be seen on the big screen with big sound and stuff. Yeah, it just it has a lot of but yeah, I haven't seen Dune 1, and now I'm wondering if it's worth it, but I'll give it a shot, and then I'll see how I feel.
That is one thing. Denis Villeneuve, the director, he understands how to show scale, how to make you feel like that building is gigantic, and here's a million people running at each other. So then the second part of this is that Dune Part 3 is already a go. Excuse me.
I'm king of the world! Woo!
Dune Part 3 is a go. It'll adapt the third book in one, Dune Messiah. The interesting part about this, Morg, is it took a couple weeks after the box office for Dune Part 2 to be a go months before Part 2 is released. So good sign.
I think so. I think they know this is just going to be a moneymaker for them. I mean, the first one did very well. People are very excited about this. I mean, this trailer is definitely going to get, I think, even more people excited because this has more action in it. It has more of a sci-fi feel to it that people are more used to. So no, I think it doesn't surprise me, and I'm happy to hear it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna wait for Part 2 before I have an opinion on that. I'll say that. Meg, I know your most anticipated movie of the summer is correct.
Barbie. Yes, I cannot wait.
Were we all supposed to say it together? Barbie.
I was just seeing if she would say it with me.
Say it with me.
I haven't been given the best directions tonight, so
we'll blame it on the internet
I'll
lag.
take the blame. Yeah, I'll take the blame on that one. So Barbie director Greta Gerwig, who is very well known in the indie movie world for her indie movies.
That's redundant.
So she's now signing on for 2 big Narnia adaptations, the first 2 Narnia books. I think that's a good sign for Barbie. She's getting these deals. It also confirms that Netflix is rebooting from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So, and then the second one is Prince Caspian. Is she? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of questions here. So I'll get your initial thoughts here, Meg. What do you think?
When I first heard that it was being rebooted on Netflix, for some reason my brain immediately went to a show, and I thought, okay, cool, because that's how books should be done. But it's going to be movies, I believe. So I don't know. And I didn't read. I don't think I read those books, which is strange because it definitely seems like books I would have enjoyed reading.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed on the show a lot, any book is better adapted into TV shows when it's broken up over a series, of hour-long episodes or whatever, so you can flesh out the characters and the storyline. So I don't know. I know the biggest complaint about those movies was that it didn't do the books justice.
Right.
So I'm not sure how someone else doing the movie is going to do, the books any more justice if it's still just a movie format.
That's a fire-ass take, Meg. Yes. But also, you agree on good sign for Barbie?
I think so. I mean, just everything I've seen, and this has nothing to do with her being, signed on for this Netflix deal for these movies, but it's just everything I've seen from the behind the scenes of Barbie. It just it's so freaking cool. It just looks so amazing. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up in terms of like plot line and actual movie. I just can't wait to see it. I just want to, and like in the one behind the scenes thing that I sent to you guys, how she says like, I just want everything to look beautiful. And that's exactly how it is. Like, I just want to reach through the screen and touch everything and play with all of it, just like I'm a little girl again. Like, it just looks so great, and so much so much care has gone into it. Just from the interviews and things I've seen. So I think it's definitely good news for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good news. I mean, there's just nothing about Barbie that has told me that that movie isn't going to just be bonkers good. Morg, what do you think a Greta Gerwig Narnia looks like? I'll say that.
I'm nervous as well. I'm kind of in the same boat here. I really like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. The book or the movie?
The book. I saw a play of it when I was very young. Something at a school when I was in Long Island, and fell in love with it then. So I agree. It should be a show. When I first saw Netflix, I'm like, okay, cool. It's going to be a show. But with it being movies, it just makes me nervous. Like, everything's better as a show. Yeah. Well, everything has the potential to be better when it's a show.
From a book standpoint.
From a book standpoint.
At minimum, a book adaptation standpoint.
To truly tell a story.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be good news for Barbie. I think Netflix is making a bold choice, and that makes me excited. I like when these kind of bold choices are made by studios. So it doesn't feel like it's just like, oh, Barbie looks great, let's go get her. It feels like, hey, we want to maybe try something different here, and hopefully that's leads to a better adaptation. Next on the rundown, we have Tron Ares, the sequel boot. I forget what was the official term we came up with a while back for this. But,
I don't remember.
It's the sequel to the last Tron, but also a soft reboot of the franchise. It's found its villain in Evan Peters, who you would know as Ralph Boner. And American Horror Story. I forget. He plays a lot of different characters in that. So,
Quicksilver.
But most notably, you would know him as Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. Dude can play creepy for sure. He was just in the Netflix special.
Yeah, the Dahmer thing. Yeah, he was Dahmer.
Yeah, which didn't get the greatest reviews except for him. He a lot of praise for his role in that. So he can play villain. I'll start with you here, Morgan, because I'm sure you've seen the Tron movie prior. You a fan of that movie and excited for this?
No, this is something I care less about. I'm not a Tron guy. I never saw the original. I did see like the sequel.
Okay. The first one.
I don't know. I didn't get into it.
Man, I can't get into the first one, but
yeah, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get into the sequel. I just wasn't feeling it. And so seeing this, I was like, I don't care. I feel like this isn't going to do well at all.
Okay. What do you think about Evan Peters as an actor in a villain role?
As an actor, yeah, I like Evan Peters. I think he's good.
Choice.
I think so. We'll see. It depends on what they're going for with the bad guy. Let's see what they're going for and how he plays it.
Yeah.
And see, because he hasn't really starred in a movie as like a big major role, I would say, right? Quicksilver, but he's not like...
He's not the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he'll be the lead villain. The lead in the movie...
Like always the bridesmaid.
Meg is actually Jared Leto. I don't know if that...
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Moves the needle one way or another, but...
That doesn't help me either anymore. That has me nervous now.
That tipped the scale for you.
Now it's like, I definitely don't want to see it.
Yeah. Well, Meg, is Jared Leto a name that will get you to the movies?
No. Hard pass.
Not joining this call.
Well...
No.
Yeah, he's... Isn't it in Iceland or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Midsummer or something.
I think that's another cult.
Waco, Texas or something.
The Mighty Ducks killers. They're it's like this cult in Iceland that hate the Mighty Ducks. They've made them villains. Did you ever hear about
that? It's amazing.
That's the best thing I've heard all day. That's really
I still gotta watch. I gotta watch the second season of that show still.
I haven't watched the first season. Speaking of franchises making returns to the screen, much like Mighty Ducks, this one, Morg, I'm pretty sure you're going to be excited about. First on the trailer train, we got a Futurama is returning trailer. What do you think there about Futurama? coming back.
I am ecstatic for this. Like, I love Futurama. Is this its third revival?
Did they have one before?
Yeah, I feel like this is its third revival. It's
Oh.
its second or third revival coming back. But I
look that
am,
up.
yeah, you need to look that up. I am beyond excited for this. The trailer, I was smiling the whole time. I can't wait to see this. Futurama was always good. I can't believe it's just one of those. I can't believe it got canceled in the first place when it did get canceled.
Right.
But I love it. It just some of those episodes we've all seen them. The one with his dog, and that still gets me. The way the whole show ended was a good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with this. I'll be watching it.
It's been off the air for 10 years, so maybe that's just
wow.
It was on TV up till 10 years ago.
Sure,
Meg, is Futurama on your docket?
So it's kind of crazy because every episode I've seen, I've loved and thought the humor was amazing. And they've never failed to make me laugh, but it's not one of those shows that I like have to watch. It's not one that I tune into all the time. If it's on, I'll turn it on, but it's not something that I'm actively trying to watch, but it is hilarious. I mean, the writing and the jokes have been amazing. And yeah, like the thing that sticks out to me is like the evil Santa that comes out at Christmas time.
Yeah.
I just like the whole,
Santa.
I don't know, all the concepts that they have of future life, I just think is really, really funny, but it's not one of those things that I'm like, I need to tune into.
Santa, I think is his name.
Yeah, Robot.
Yeah, it was the Robot Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show so much.
My connection to Futurama was in the Army. Brett King, he had this thing back then. It was called a computer. I don't know if you guys know about these computer things, but not everybody had them, and not everybody had them in their hand. So if somebody had one, you just went over to their room and used it. And there was this thing on the computer thing that was called AIM, and I would get on. Brett would he would go to bed. Well, he'd go lay in bed while he would watch Adult Swim. So I don't remember what was on before Futurama. But Futurama.
Probably Family Guy. King of the Hill, maybe.
I don't know. I don't think it was King of the. It was definitely not King of the Hill. It could have been Family Guy. Either way, I would get on. I'd sign on my AIM, and then I'd instant message for the next couple hours while watching Futurama, and having Brett King fall asleep behind me most nights. He snores if that was up in question. So
you should see what it's like in a house with me, him, and BT.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Futurama, very excited for that to come back. All right, next on the train, we've got a Leonardo DiCaprio movie on Apple plus Killers of the Flower Moon. Meg, starting with you on this one.
So is this Scorsese? Did I see that? And De Niro and DiCaprio, and it's not an Italian mobster movie, so that's cool.
Speak for yourself.
It looks really good. I'm definitely interested in it. I don't know if I'm going to make time to go to the theater to see this, but I love all those guys. They're immensely talented. So my husband and I are currently watching Yellowstone, and I love the way that they bring in the Native American actors and kind of get into that uncomfortable history that we have. And this definitely looks like it's going to dive into that. So I'm really interested to see that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the movie looks good. I remember when the first little trailer released, I was intrigued by it. Like you said, I like that it's not a gangster movie, but it is a gangster movie. It seems like
It's definitely got the elements, but it's a little
just
different.
the mobs are white people, and the other mob is Native Americans, and they're fighting each other in this, for control of this area. No, I think it looks very interesting. Yeah, I think it looks interesting. I want to see what they do with it. I think I'll end up watching this one.
Okay.
Looks like it's gonna be a little hard to watch in some parts.
That's for sure. I mean, I haven't watched these. This is the second trailer. I haven't watched it yet. Where I was like, I need to watch this. I don't know. Something about it is I don't know. I'll figure it out. Next on the train is what you get when you cross Chuck E. Cheese with actual nightmares about Chuck E. Cheese in Five Nights at Freddy's. Whoa. This one surprised me. I'll start with you, Morgan, because I know you got a little
Yeah,
to talk about this one.
So the Five Nights at Freddy's does actually look kind of good. It looks creepier than I thought it would. But there is an even better version of Five Nights at Freddy called Willy's Wonderland. I want to say it's a Hulu. I can't quite remember. It's on one of the things. Find it. Definitely Amazon. But it's probably one of Nick Cage's best movies.
Nicolas Cage's best roles.
You have to say the Nick Cage, first of all.
The Nick Cage. It's one of his best movies.
There you go.
He has
rolls off the tongue better.
Probably the greatest lines I've ever heard from him, because he literally says nothing the entire movie. Complete silence other than grunting. And he takes on just like this, a rundown old pizza place thing where the animatronics are killing everybody.
What year did it come out?
21.
Yeah, 21. It's not that long ago.
Oh man. Okay.
And I was reading. I want to watch it. I'm really.
It's so good. It's so
it
good.
definitely looks like something I would like, even though I'm not a horror person.
Yeah.
The things I've read is that it's so bad it's good. So
that's what it is.
You do like that kind of stuff.
I love horrible.
I'm not. When it's bad, it's bad. I can't get into it. But this, I feel like I do want to see. Josh Hutcherson. That was harder to say than I thought. Josh Hutcherson from the Hunger Games. Good to see him back in something, because he hasn't been in anything in a while. He was an up and coming actor with the Hunger Games. He's the lead guy. What do you think, Meg, about Five Nights at Freddy's?
I'm definitely not going to see it. So
it's fair. That's
because
fair.
Again, not a horror person. I don't like jump scares. I don't like that kind of stuff. There's been like YouTube videos that they're not even scary videos, but they use that, like the Freddy bear, Fazbear or whatever his name is, as like, I don't know, they like put a voice over it and it freaks me out. I don't like it. But I think for fans of the game, I think they're going to enjoy this. And I don't know much about the game because, again, I don't like jump scares. But from what I know of the game, this looks like it's going to be a pretty good adaptation of it and give it some life. I want no part of it.
Okay.
I'm also having a hard time buying Josh Hutcherson as a dad. Like, he just seems too young to me. I don't know how old he is. I think he's probably like maybe a little younger than me, so he could definitely have a kid that age. He just to me seems more like, I don't know.
I hope he paints his arm into a rock in this, like he does in Hunger Games, to blend in.
He uses his good painting skills.
I want him to use his painting skills that he learned from baking.
I think this is something I can get away with at like Halloween. We're in the spirit of watching scary stuff.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this doesn't look like it'll be too intense for a scary.
If it's good, we'll know. We'll know soon enough. When's it release?
I already know. The answer's no. But we don't have to
another
wait.
So bad it's good type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm surprised this is it going to theater?
It doesn't say on this one. Oh, this Peacock original. Is this
that makes more sense.
I thought it was a movie.
I thought it was a movie, like a Peacock movie, right?
Okay, that makes more sense.
We'll see. Let's get to the nerd box because we got a good one.
It's come to my attention that a breakaway Russian republic, Krepelakistan, is about to transfer a nuclear warhead to the United Nations in a few days. Here's the plan. We get the warhead, and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
So this nerd box question comes in from Johnny. If someone offered you $1 million to watch the same movie for 24 hours straight, could you do it? And what movie did you choose? Now, we all said, yeah, absolutely. Let's watch Back to the Future for 24 hours straight, right? That would be way too
easy.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Right?
Easy.
$1 million in my pocket right now. So we came up with a little wrinkle, or at least, our person who comes up with all the games did. Meg, do you want to explain the wrinkle to the nerd box question?
So we've changed it to what would we choose for the co-hosts to watch? And they have to choose out of those two that we provide which one they think they could stomach for 24 hours for $1 million.
All All right. So who wants to go first?
Let's have Meg pick first.
Yeah, let's have Meg.
Okay.
So we'll read the Meg first. All right.
So I have a lot I've chosen for Stemp, but I'm going to try to narrow it down.
Wait, I thought we were reading ours to you because you're picking first.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right.
2 straight weeks. The rules haven't quite been clear.
Iron that out.
Right. You want to go first?
So you're going to tell me what you've chosen for me, Stemp and Morg. Okay. And then I.
All right. So for you, I picked The Conjuring.
Oh God.
That movie terrified me.
I'm almost immediately saying I'm going to pick whatever Stemp says because I don't think I could do that for 24 hours.
I have Snakes on a Plane for you.
Okay, I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, that's the much better choice.
Oh man, really?
I thought you were trying to be mean.
Oh God, no, The Conjuring. I don't think I could.
Snakes are the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, but I mean that's another one of those so bad. I don't know.
Definitely
that it's
not
so bad
The
it's good,
Conjuring.
but no, that would.
The Conjuring
that
is
would
pretty
be
scary. Like
yeah, The Conjuring terrifies me.
Psychological torture to me. I don't think I could handle that.
Like I've said before, the only things in this world I'm scared of are snakes and demons, and so.
Snakes? Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Things I can't kill. That scares me.
Exactly. Snakes and demons.
Yeah, anything I
Anything
can't
else
kill.
I can do.
I'm okay with snakes because they don't have any legs. Anything that's got like 6 legs or more can't handle that either.
Which is then, why do they move so fast without legs? It makes no sense. Why'd it have to be snakes?
Yeah, gosh, why did I brought snakes into this? I thought it was gonna be good.
You idiot!
Okay, well, I mean, listen, if snakes are gonna lose out to something, they're gonna lose out to demons. So.
Way more afraid of demons.
All right, Morgan, you want to go now?
Yeah, like I'm picking.
No, we're giving you our choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm picking.
Yeah. Sorry. A little slow on the uptake.
Yeah, I don't know why we're so confused by what I'm picking means for this game.
Bunch of idiots.
I have no excuse. I'm just always tired.
You have kids.
Yeah.
We all have kids here too, and we understand. All right.
All right. So for Morg, I've chosen Twilight.
You can totally watch Twilight over and over and over again. But for my pick for Morgan, I'm cheating a little bit, and I'm gonna make him watch Andor.
Oh, that's tough. Why? Yeah, no, obviously I'm picking Andor. I can't stand Twilight.
Yes, I finally get you to watch Andor. Holy cow. I knew to close the deal at some point. Now it's my turn for you guys to read your picks for me. And you have several, so
well, Morg, you go I
so
do,
you go
but
first, Meg. Or
I
you,
just
Morg,
have
you go
one.
first.
Mine is An Inconvenient Truth.
all right. So I'm gonna go.
That doesn't count.
It's a movie. That's a movie.
It's like
you gave me a show. I don't want to hear it. Documentaries count.
So I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with, and I googled that stupid Winnie the Pooh horror movie because I couldn't remember the name of it. So I'm going with the Winnie the Pooh. Blood and Honey. That's what it was.
Blood and Honey. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Blood and Honey. Or what else? What was the other one?
So my other choice was Army of the Dead, or what is it? The Last Skywalker.
Oh,
any of the
Last Jedi
trilogy.
Wow.
Yeah. The Last Jedi. Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
If you guys did like X-Men 3, The Last Jedi, I might have just turned this whole podcast off. Not answered. Bye.
It's a Resident Evil TV show.
Ooh, boy. This is tough. I will Star Wars wins. I could watch Star Wars for $1 million for 24 hours.
That's fair.
That's really hard.
To be fair, I think if you told me any movie, I think I could do it 24 hours for $1 million.
I could probably do it very easily.
Well,
Easy money is money easily lost.
Just about like within reason, obviously. Like not.
Yeah, I
torture
mean,
movies or
yeah.
anything like that.
I don't want to watch
As long
like
as I'm
faces.
allowed
I don't
to-
want to watch Faces of Death for 24 hours.
Yeah.
If I can
hate
cover
people-
my eyes when needed, then I might, and maybe my ears.
I hate people in peril movies. Like there's always like people in peril in throughout movies, but when it's like the entire movie is like one peril, you know, kind of like what was that tsunami movie? I couldn't watch that one.
Yeah, they're on top.
With Owen Wilson.
Oh, like where it's real? Yeah, with
Owen Wilson.
what's her name?
And Tom Holland.
And Tom Holland was the boy.
Yeah. That one still can't
Moana.
watch. Or Gravity. Did you say Moana?
That's what I was like. Did he really not even say Moana?
I didn't hear it either. I didn't catch that.
But man, there's some movies I have pretty much watched 24 hours straight, not including Frozen, actually. Frozen.
Yeah, some against my will, but
yeah, that's fair.
I feel like
That's
I
fair.
should be paid $1 million if Frozen comes on my TV again.
I mean, heck, A Christmas Story is almost 24 hours when it's
yeah,
Christmas time. You know what I mean?
Home Alone is on repeat, and Penny loves Home Alone 2, so maybe that I love Home Alone 2 more than Home Alone 1. No,
Nah, Home Alone was good.
Yeah, it's got to be Home Alone 1 on repeat. All right, well, fun rundown. It's not a busy time of year. You know, it always is. It's kind of like the calm before the storm.
I'm saying it's calm before the storm.
Says the storm generator.
Of Comic-Con, even though the studios, you know, aren't going to be having big panels.
Lays me like crap.
We're still going to have some trailers. We're still going to have news. A little bit calm before the storm. We're going to have a much bigger rundown here coming up soon enough. I'm just sure of it. Eric's out of town. Can't wait to hear his stories about his camper, his new RV that he took out. His new camper, whatever he calls it. So
an RV or a camper?
It's
the difference?
Camper. He pulls it.
Okay, so camper is a pull. I think so.
No. All right. Well, we miss you, big guy. Meg, good to see you back on. I haven't been on with you in a while. Morg, always good to have you on, my man. You're so
Yes, sir.
making me laugh so
Yes, sir.
With that being said, we'll see y'all next week on the Nerd Rundown.
Bye.
Deuces.
Finally.
She loves it.